Hey guys, this week we're going to talk manicuring, which is chapter 25 in your textbook. Both of you have expressed to me that you are really excited about our nail chapters. So just to let you know, this is where it all begins, 25, 26, 27, 8, and 9. That is what we have left this semester, and they are all going to be nail chapters. So it's your time to shine. With manicuring, chapter 25, make sure you read your textbook along with the lecture. We'll be doing some activities as well as me lecturing in class. If there's anything else I can do along with your lessons, make sure you read those announcements. You guys should pretty much have a good understanding of chapter 25 once I complete this. So what am I going to learn in this chapter? You're going to definitely be able to define scope of practice and what that means for us as a cosmetologist. You're going to describe the potential consequences of a nail tech working outside the state's scope of practice. So something that we're not actually licensed to do, you're going to find out what all of our licenses do cover and how far you can take that. Again, consequences if you are not following the state's regulatory guidelines. You're going to be able to identify the 4 types of nail technology tools required to perform a manicure. Explain the difference between multi-use, which is going to be your reusable items or implements, and then you have your single use, which is your disposable implements. You will also be able to name and describe the 3-part procedure used in the performance of a basic manicure, including your pre-service and your post-service. Explain why a consultation is important before a service in a salon. List and describe the 5 basic nail shapes for women. Describe the most popular nail shape for men. You're going to be able to list the massage movements for performing a relaxing hand and arm massage. Not only list them, but I want you guys to be able to explain them to me, and you're going to be able to demonstrate them once you learn this in our lab class as well. Explain the differences between spa manicures and basic manicures. Describe how aromatherapy is best used in manicuring services. And explain the benefits of a paraffin wax in manicuring. So there's a lot to cover in this chapter. My lecture is probably going to be pretty lengthy for this, but let's go ahead and get started. So why am I going to study manicuring? The appearance of nails and hands has become a visual benchmark in our society in the assessment of a person both socially and professionally. So appearance, again, whether it be hair, skin, or nails, that how we carry ourselves, all of those things leads back to how we're viewed professionally. Fashion continuously changes, and a professional cosmetologist should always stay current in new trends in the beauty industry. Some clients cannot, due to health constraints, maintain their own nails. Older clients, clients with disabilities, and you need to know how to service them and how to professionally handle those tasks for them. Clients also are going to love the relaxation and pampering that manicures provides, which opens up a door for you guys to make money off of this lucrative services. And I will say it time and time again, nails are the hottest thing right now. The past few years, we have definitely seen this. YouTube, I think TikTok has made it very, very hot, even more than hair and skin right now. Nails is on the up and up with the trend. People are paying north of $100 for acrylic nails or gel nails. And so that all starts with this very basic procedure that we're going to learn about in this chapter, and that's manicuring. So once you have learned the fundamental techniques in this chapter, you will be officially on your way to providing clients with a professional manicuring service. A manicure is a cosmetic treatment of the hands. Okay, a manicure involves cutting, shaping, often painting the nails, depending on the client, removal of the cuticles, and then the softening of the skin. Okay, a manicure and pedicure services are currently the fastest growing services on the salon and spa menus. This book was actually written in 2016, so that has been some time. But I will say that I think nails in general, whether it be manicures, pedicures, acrylic, gels, all of those are still the fastest growing services on the salon and spa menus. I can still agree with that statement. Okay, let's talk about our state and government regulations, okay? So I want you guys to understand what scope of practice is, okay? The definition of scope of practice is the list of services that you are legally allowed to perform in your specialty in your state. So as a cosmetologist, when you graduate here in North Carolina, you will be able to do manicures, pedicures, acrylic, gel nails, dip nails, the polygel, all of those things under your license as a cosmetologist. You guys also know that you are licensed for skincare. You also, of course, are licensed for hair. So cosmetology is a really big umbrella that is going to include a ton of services. So when we talk about scope of practice, there are things that you cannot do, that you have to further yourself and get a certification to do. Now, do not let that confuse you. If you want to go get certified in a certain color line or an extension line or something of that matter, then yes, that's a certification because you're taking a specialty class, but you do not have to have that in order to perform the service. Now, something like microneedling. We have recently been approved to do microneedling as a cosmetologist, or microdermabrasion. You can both do those things as a cosmetologist. However, you need to be certified as well because it is more than what we teach you. You guys need to know how, the safety, the infection control of it, and actually the procedure. So outside of your scope of practice could be like med spa, Botox, things like that. People ask me all the time, do you guys do that as a cosmetologist, or massages? You know, we teach you, well, you guys don't know this, but hand and arm massage, you're going to learn the foot and leg massage manipulations, but we cannot do body massages. That's outside of our scope of practice. So that's the definition of scope of practice. You can lose your license for this if you are caught. Okay. Also, I want to talk about OSHA before I move on. OSHA stands for the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. You guys learned this in your infection control chapter. This requires salon ventilation where chemical services are performed, such as some nail services. So you have to have the proper ventilation in order to do certain nail services, such as acrylics. Okay, so make sure when you are going into a salon that you have the proper ventilation, or if you're opening your own salon, that you follow those state guidelines. You also may have to fall in line with PPE. Some states may say you have to wear a mask when doing these services. Just make sure that you go to the North Carolina State Board website and you can find it there underneath the rules and regulations. Okay, so working with nail technology tools. There are 4 categories of these. You have equipment, you have implements, you have materials, and you have products. Okay, so I'm going to go into each one of them. Equipment. These are permanent items used in cosmetology. These items are not replaced. I'm not saying not ever, but they're not replaced each day, each week, after each service. Okay, so examples of these are going to be your manicure table. Your manicure table usually consists of 1 or more drawers. It can be 36 to 48 inches long, anywhere from 16 to 21 inches wide. Okay. Adjustable lamps. The lamps should be adjustable and have a 40 to 60 watt bulb. Cosmetologist and client chairs. So the technician's chair should be selected for ergonomics, comfort, durability, resistance to staining, and the ease of cleaning. The client's chair should be durable and also comfortable. Finger bowls. So a finger bowl is used to soak in the client's fingers in warm water. This is before the start of your manicure or part of the start of your manicure. It's used to soften the skin and to soften that cuticle as well. A disinfection container is considered equipment. This must be large enough to hold your sufficient liquid disinfectant solution to completely immerse several service sets. This could be all your tools. So at the end of the day, when you're cleaning that items to be disinfected container, make sure that it's big enough that you can submerge all of your implements in there. Disinfection containers, they do come in many shapes and sizes and materials. Must have a lid. They have to keep the disinfection solution from becoming contaminated when not in use. They have to be covered at all times. You guys have probably seen the William Marvey, the old Barbicide jars. That's fine. They're just not practical anymore. That's why we don't use them anymore, because it's just easier at the end of the day to clean all of your implements at one time. Hence is why we have you guys bring in that plastic container. I would continue to take that with me when I went into the salon. Now, if it's something that you need to stop and clean before you can move on, like your shears, you may only have one set of shears, or you may only have one metal file that you're doing your manicures with, then you may have to stop after that service and just clean and disinfect. Okay, the client's arm cushion. A cushion for the client's arm, it has to be covered with a fresh, clean towel for each client. So your client should never actually be touching that armrest. A clean towel that is folded and rolled up in cushion size may also be used instead of a commercially purchased cushion. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen our nail technology room, but we have these. We put them in the small little trash bags freshly in between each client. We've done that ever since COVID. That way it keeps it disinfected. It keeps it from getting so much Marvicide and Barbicide that the wear and tear is not good on it. And then we also cover it with a towel as well. The service cushion, and this is an optional equipment item. It should be placed between the client and the technician for more comfort. Gauze and cotton wipe container. Okay, you're probably like, what is this? So this is whatever you're going to keep your cotton in. Now, this may not be at your station. This may be in your dispensary, your cabinet, at your salon, wherever. Make sure that it has a lid to protect its contents. Just like you guys see us in the dispensary, we put anything that is open, we cover it, although it's in a drawer, put it in a plastic bag by itself. Reusable items, your single use and your multi-use should never be stored together. Your porous items should not be stored with your items that you can disinfect. And it also helps with organization, but mainly that is for infection control. Your trash containers. A trash container with a self-closing lid should be located next to your workstation. This is so you don't have to touch the lid. It should be lined with a disposable trash bag and closed when not in use. You must have a cover on that trash can. It must be emptied at the end of each workday and must be cleaned and disinfected often. I would say at the end of the week, you need to clean and disinfect that trash can or your trash container. Your supply tray. You've probably seen these when you've gone to get your nails done. It's just a simple tray. It holds all your nail products. You may bring it to your station. People who do nails all day long, they probably leave that on their station. Make sure you take your products out and you wipe it down, you clean it, you disinfect it, in between each client. Another example of an equipment is an electric nail polish dryer. These are optional, but they do shorten the time necessary for your clients to dry We have a couple of these here as well. UV or LED lights. These are optional, but not really. I mean, if you're going to do manicures, you're pretty much going to get into gel nails, and you're going to need that UV LED light. They're used to harden those gel products. They use UVA bulbs to emit and harden the nails. Electric hand and foot mitts. And these are also optional. They are warm aids in penetration of conditioning ingredients. You have to be very careful with these. A lot of these can be made out of something that you cannot disinfect. Make sure that you can disinfect these. Terry cloth mitts. They are also optional. These are used over paraffin and they hold in the heat. So you put your paraffin on, you wrap that in plastic, and then you put these terry cloth mitts on. That holds in the heat. They're great, but you need to wash them, launder them in between each client. Your paraffin baths. These are also optional. They are used for melting paraffin wax to moisturize the skin. So what is paraffin? Paraffin is a petroleum byproduct that has an excellent sealing property to hold in moisture in the skin, and it can be added to manicures and pedicures for an extra charge. So this is, sorry about this, guys. So this is actually an add-on service to a manicure or pedicure. It moisturizes your hands. You can do this on your feet. You can do it. I like to add this onto my pedicure because I have really rough feet. And so a paraffin bath it makes it feel good and moisturizes you, puts moisture back in you if that's a problem. The last piece of equipment that I'm going to talk about is your ventilation system. Products used when performing nail services, they contain chemicals sometimes. These chemicals can affect our health actually. Exposure to nail dust and chemical odors and vapors can affect our breathing and our respiratory health. Proper ventilation should be used in a salon to protect nail technicians from becoming overexposed to the vapors and dust. One of the most effective ways to ensure safe working conditions is a local source capture ventilation system. Okay, we have the air purifiers here. That's part of our ventilation system. Most ventilation systems are built into your roof. So just make sure that if you're going to partake in this, wherever you're at has a good ventilation system. Okay, so let's talk about your implements. In particular, we're going to talk about some multi-use implements. So what is an implement? An implement is a tool that is used to perform your service in either multi-use or single use. They can come in either. That multi-use means they can be disinfected. That single use means that they have to be trashed. Okay, multi-use, the actual definition, also known as reusable implements. They are generally stainless steel because they must be properly cleaned and disinfected after the use on one client and prior to the use on another. Single-use implements, these are known as disposable. They cannot be reused because they cannot be cleansed and they cannot be disinfected. Therefore, they have to be thrown away after a single use. Okay, so let's talk about multi-use implements in particular. Our metal pusher. These are often called a cuticle pusher. It is designed to gently scrape the cuticle tissue from the natural nail plate. You're going to hold it like a pencil. Improper use can cause trauma or injury to the tissues called microtrauma. Okay? Microtrauma is a tiny opening in the skin that it can allow microbes to enter the skin. That can give you infection. A nail nipper. This is a stainless steel implement used to carefully trim away the dead skin around the nails. It is never used to trim away the eponychium. Okay, we know our eponychium is living. Okay, you're going to hold it in the palm of your palm with the blades facing the cuticle. Place the thumb on one handle and 3 fingers on the other, with the index finger on the screw to to guide the blade. And if you guys need help with this when we're doing manicuring, I'll show you as I demonstrate exactly how to hold. Okay, so tweezers. These are used to lift small bits of debris from the nail plate or remove implements from disinfectant solution. You can also use them once we get into designing nails and things like that. You can use them for your rhinestones or some art to pick up anything. So tweezers definitely come in handy. And then you have your nail clippers. These are used to shorten the free edge quickly and efficiently. They must be properly disinfected after each use. Okay, so let's talk about some of the single-use implements, and there are tons, but I'm just going to go over a few. These are disposable implements that are used and then discarded. Okay, brushes and applicators. If they cannot be properly cleaned and disinfected after each use, they must be disposed of unless self-disinfecting. Nail polish brushes are the exception. So the little brush that is in your nail polish, that is an exception. A wooden pusher. This is to remove the cuticle tissue from the nail plate. This is also used to clean under the free edge of the nail or to apply some products. You're going to hold it like a pencil. When applying cosmetics, wrap a small piece of cotton around the nail. I also use these when I'm cleaning up after I have polished. A nail brush. It is used to clean and remove debris from nails and implements. Again, make sure that there are some nail brushes that you can disinfect. The ones that we have here are made of nylon, so they cannot be disinfected. The ones that are actually made of plastic, you can disinfect. Product application brush. These are used to apply nail oils, nail polish, or nail treatments to the client nails. Anything wooden is going to be porous, and that's all the way around. That definitely is a single-use implement. Now, if you have a client you're using these implements on, they would like to take these implements with them, that is fine, but you cannot use them on anybody else. Materials. Materials are supplies that are used during a manicure designed to be single-use. They must be replaced for each client. Examples: gloves. This is PPE. It's worn to protect a cosmetologist and also to protect the client. A dust mask, which has actually turned out to be more than a dust mask. We wore masks for pretty much 2 years. They should be high quality. They should be properly fitted on your face. Dust mask when transferring chemicals from one container to the other or while buffing a nail. That's when they can be worn. Properly fitted dust masks rated N95 are highly effective and a great choice from preventing inhalation or overexposure to dust. If you guys do nails day in and day out, I definitely recommend that you guys use an N95 mask. Abrasive nail files and buffers. They are used to shape the free edge of the nails. And again, these are single use. They're available in many different grits. So let me explain the grits to you. A lower grit. So this is anything less than 180. These are going to be aggressive. They are going to quickly reduce the thickness of any surface. They should not be used on a natural nail. A medium grit is anywhere between 180 and 240. They are used to smooth and refine surfaces, and the 180 grit is used to shorten and shape the natural nails. A fine grit is 240 and higher. These are going to be designed for buffing, polishing, and removing fine scratches. So the higher the grit, the finer it is. The lower the grit, the more aggressive it is. A two-way or three-way buffer. These are used to buff the nails to a beautiful shine and replace chamois which could not be disinfected. Single-use or terry cloth towels. So any of your towels, you have to launder them. You have to wash them. If it is a paper towel, of course, you're going to trash that. Gauze, cottons, pads, anything like that. These are primarily used to remove the nail polish. You can use them with other products. These are single use, of course, and they have to be replaced. Plastic or metal spatulas. These are used to remove products from containers. Again, if they're metal, they can be disinfected. If they're plastic, wooden, anything like that, they have to be trashed. Last, we have professional nail products. Okay, we'll go over some example of those. And there's quite a few that I'm going to talk about and introduce you to. The first one is soap. Soap and warm water are used to clean the technician's and the client's hands. Liquid soaps are definitely recommended. Okay, a bar soap, it definitely causes bacteria to live, and it breeds bacteria and those bad pathogens. So we never want to use bar soap, but definitely pump liquid soap. Polish remover. These are used to dissolve and remove nail polish. They contain solvents. There are two types of polish removers available. You have acetone and then you have non-acetone. Okay. Both can be used safely. Non-acetone removers will not dissolve any wraps, acrylics, anything like that. So they are preferred when removing polish from nail wraps. So you need to use acetone if you are trying to remove gel or you're trying to remove some acrylic, resin, anything like that. Non-acetone if you're not trying to get that deep. The actual definition of acetone is a colorless, inflammable liquid that is miscible with water, alcohol, and ether, and has a sweetish odor or burning taste. It is used as a solvent. Okay, so how do I use polish remover? You're going to saturate a cotton ball, a gauze pad, or a plastic-backed cotton pad and hold the saturated cotton on each nail while you silently count to 10. The old polish will now come off easily from the nail plate with the stroking motion, moving forward toward the free edge. So instead of sitting there and being rough with it, moving it around, if you just hold it for about 10 seconds, it should slide on off. Use a confident, firm touch when removing the polish. Doesn't have to be aggressive, but it definitely needs to be firm. Continue until all traces of the polish are gone. You may have to go in with an orange wood stick and a piece of cotton to get those corners, especially if it's a darker color. Nail creams, lotions, and oils. These are designed to soften dry skin around the nail plate and increase the flexibility of natural nails. They are also designed to seal the surface and hold in moisture. Typically, oils have a longer lasting effect than creams. So nail creams, the actual definition, they are barrier products because they contain ingredients designed to seal the surface of the skin around the nail and hold in the moisture of your skin. Okay, what is a nail oil? The definition is they are designed to absorb into the nail plate and increase flexibility into the surrounding skin, soften, and to moisturize. The next product I'm going to talk about is a cuticle remover. These are designed to loosen and dissolve the dead tissue from the nail plate for an easy removal. They typically contain 2 to 5% of sodium or potassium hydroxide, plus glycerin or other moisturizing ingredients. Nail bleach. These are used to remove yellow surface discoloration or stains such as tobacco stains. They contain H2O2 or other keratin bleaching agents. Colored polish, colored enamel, lacquer, or varnish. Okay. Colored coatings applied to the natural nail plate are known as polish, enamel, lacquer, or varnish. These are all marketing terms used to describe the same types of product containing similar ingredients. There is no real difference between the products. So polish, enamel, lacquer, or varnish. Lacquer is, a fancy word for nail polish is what they're saying. Gel polish products. These are a form of nail color that lasts anywhere from 10 to 21 days. This is a very high demand salon service. This can be used with a regular manicure. It can be used once you have, tips put on, wraps, whatever it is to seal the deal, you can use gel polish. Very, very popular service. It holds up. You don't have as bad as smudging. It lasts so much longer than regular nail polish, and it's so much more expensive as well to get it done and to buy the gel polish as well. Base coat. This is a colorless layer that improves the adhesion of the polish. You need this because it helps lay that foundation down for your first coat of nail polish that you put on. It also prevents staining the natural nail plate. I don't know if you guys have ever polished your nails without a base coat, but it's much harder to get off. If you have red on there, you may see it for a little while. You may have to buff it out, and that's not what you want. You want that protective layer put down your base coat. A nail hardener. It is used to improve surface hardness or durability of the weak or thin nail plate. It prevents splitting or the peeling of the nail plate. Okay. There are different kinds. You have a protein hardener. This is a combination of clear polish and protein, such as collagen. These provide a clear, hard coating on the surface of the nail, but do not change or affect the natural nail plate itself. Okay. Then you have the dimethyl urea hardeners. These are to add crosslinks to the natural nail plate. They do not cause adverse skin reaction. These do not work as quickly as other hardeners containing the glycol, but they will not over harden nails as those with the glycol ingredient can over harden your nails. A top coat. This is used over the nail polish. It is to prevent chipping, to add shine to the finished nail. The main ingredient in this is going to be acrylic or cellulose. A top film former. Nail polish dryer products. They're accelerators for drying of the nail polish. These are used over the top coat. Most of these come in spray form. Hand creams or lotions. These are to add a finishing touch to the manicure. They soften and smooth the hands. They help skin retain that moisture. Nail conditioners. These are used to reduce brittleness of the nail plate and to moisturize the surrounding skin. Again, when you use these, follow the manufacturer's directions. Sunscreens. These are to protect the skin from damage by UVA rays. Let's switch things up a little bit. So we've learned about products, we've learned about implements, we've learned about equipment, and you guys have also learned about materials so far. There's a lot of them, a mouthful of them. Okay, so let's talk about learning the necessary components to perform that basic manicure. So what do I need to know? The basic manicure is the foundation of all your nail services, and it is vital that you know and recognize all the components necessary for making the basic manicure service successful. Okay. Your three-part procedure that I talked about in your lesson objectives earlier. This includes your pre-service, which is the cleaning of your tools and prepping, the actual service, which is the step-by-step procedure, and then this is also your post-service procedure. This is your organized plan for caring for the client after the service, along with also cleaning and disinfecting. Let's talk about something that is all too familiar with us. Hand washing. It prevents the spread of the communicable diseases. It is imperative that you wash your hands before and after each client, no matter what the service is. And have your client wash their hands before they even sit down at your cleaned and disinfected manicure table. Hand washing is part of the pre-service procedure. Anytime I go get my nails or my hair done, they pretty much ask me to wash my hands before I even go to their station. It's always been that way for nails, but I will say, since COVID, since I get my hair done, my stylist has told me, can you please go wash your hands? Go to the bathroom. Here's the restroom. Can you please wash your hand before we start the service? You want to make sure that you provide clean nail brushes. Hand sanitizers do not replace hand washing. Hand sanitizers are great, but hand washing is what you need before and after each service. During the service, you touch your trash can liner, or you go in your dirty implements container to put something away and you want to squirt that hand sanitizer, absolutely. But in between each service, before every client, before you introduce and shake their hand, make sure you have washed your hands. Okay, so let's talk about the consultation. Okay, and I'm going to highlight different parts of this. You're going to use the information on that client intake form to guide you during that client consultation. So just like any other service, you have a client consultation, of course. Let's talk about the client intake form first. So keep the intake form close by throughout the procedure for reference. You're going to look at the form closely for important responses from the client. You're going to record your observations after the service on a service record card or in the salon software at the end of the service. Check your client's nails and skin. Again, this is going to be before you start the service. Always check the client's nails and skin to make sure that they are healthy and that the service you are providing is appropriate. Discuss the client's preferences and lifestyle. This is going to include shape, color, the length of your nails that your client prefers. Consider the client's lifestyle. Is this a professional business woman or man, or is it a lady that has 5 children at home who's not going to keep up their nails that often? Is it a man who works outside every single day? Make sure you definitely know their lifestyle. Make sure you know their hobbies, their recreational activities, and type of work when determining the best nail shape and the length. You want to make sure you can accommodate them the best. Speaking of nail shape, and this snippet here is actually straight from your book. We're going to talk about the basic nail shapes for women. You're going to consult with your client before making this decision. Okay. Choosing the nail shape, consider the shape of their hands, the length of their fingers, the shape of their cuticle area, their hobbies, again, their recreational activities, the type of work that the client does. Okay, so let's talk about square. The square nail is completely straight across the free edge with no rounding at the outside edges. Length depends on the client's preference. A squoval. This is a square free edge that is rounded off at the corner edges, so it's square and round together. It extends slightly past the fingertip. Round. This should be slightly tapered and usually should extend just a bit past the fingertip. This is the most common for males. Oval. The oval nail is a very conservative nail shape that is thought to be attractive on most women's hands. And then you have the pointed. It is suited to be on thin hands with long fingers and narrow nail beds. The nail is tapered and longer than usual to emphasize the enhanced slender appearance of the hand. They are weak and they also break easily. Okay, so how do I choose a nail color, or how do I help my client? Suggest a shade that complements their skin tone or coordinates with their clothing if they're going to a special event. Allow the clients to make the final choice. You can always suggest, but it's their final choice. Applying polish. It is best achieved with 4 coats. This is going to be your base coat, 2 coats of your polish, and then your top coat. Okay? You want to make sure that you apply thin, even coats to create maximum smoothness and minimum drying time. So how do I cater to a man's manicure service? What's the difference between a man and a woman's? There's really not any. Okay? A man's manicure is executed executed using the same procedures as described in a basic manicure. Though you're going to omit the colored polish and or buff the nails with a high shine buffer. Okay, most men do not want that high shine because they don't want shiny nails. Okay, again, totally up to your client. The men's basic color is obviously going to be clear. They may not want any color. Who knows now? They may want red. Okay, make sure you market the men. This is something that a lot of people do not do well, I don't feel like. I have to pretty much make my husband go and get a manicure. Of course, he takes care of this, but with the line of work that he does, he has really rough hands and his nails are really bad. So not that often, but a couple of times a year, I do make him go get a manicure. But I feel like men don't feel as welcome or secure in there, so make sure you market the men. I think men actually would love the manicure and pedicure, and it needs to feel more, they need to feel more comfortable in there. So definitely market the men. There's a whole, another market outlet for you guys. Okay, so a hand and arm massage, and you guys are going to learn this in the actual procedure, but let's talk about it. Okay, so what does it do? It promotes blood circulation, it relaxes muscles, it relieves pain, and of course it soothes and relaxes your client. Okay, and obviously that's, what most people go for is to be relaxed during your hand and arm massage. So the man's massage, you're going to use a more firm movement and touch on a man on the palms and the longer, firmer slides during your effleurage movements. Again, you can say, is this too firm? Is this not firm enough on any of your clients? When I want to go back to the marketing to men, make sure you describe the service and the benefit of it. You can distribute flyers. You need to do this at like men's stores, gyms, sell gift certificates to female clients to schedule them, maybe something for your husband or boyfriend's birthday or things like that. These are also things that you can do as a couple, but really get the men into this because they need it. Again, massage, let's get back to that. The actual definition of massage is the manipulation of the soft tissues of the body. It promotes circulation of the blood and the lymph. It promotes relaxation of the muscles, and it also is going to relieve pain. So that's the actual definition of it. General movements. Let's talk about these massage manipulations. Okay, so the following movements are usually combined. So you're not going to, I'm so sorry guys. You're not just going to use one of these, you're going to combine them to do your actual massage. So effleurage, this is going to be a succession of strokes made by gliding the hand over an area with a varying degree of pressure. This is a movement, it is used most frequently, and it should be perfected. Okay, so this is more gliding. Okay, we always say we like to start with effleurage and finish with effleurage. Petrissage, or kneading. Okay, you ever seen a cat knead? Okay, that's what petrissage is. You're lifting, you're squeezing. Tap on it. That is rapid tapping or a striking motion of the hands on the skin. Vibration. So you're trembling, you're shaking. These are movements that are applied with the hands, not breaking contact with the skin. You never want to leave the skin. And then you have friction. It incorporates various strokes that manipulate or press one layer of tissue over the other. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between a spa manicure and a basic manicure. Spa manicures require extensive knowledge of nail care and skin care. They usually include a relaxing massage and exfoliation. They may incorporate the use of oils, aromatherapy, additional techniques such as paraffin dips, hand masks, warm, moist towel applications, hot stones. Basically, these are your upgraded manicures. Okay, so let's talk about themed manicures. These contain products to support the theme. These can be lotions, these can be masks. Refreshments might even be served to support the theme. Examples, a chocolate wonder manicure and pedicure, or a pumpkin fall festival manicure and pedicure. This time of year, there's a lot of pumpkin. You can do a pumpkin pedicure with like a pumpkin mask on your feet. Or I have seen it at Valentine's where they do chocolate. So basically, they serve you like strawberries and champagne, and then you have like a cocoa or chocolate mask that you get on your feet. I have seen peppermint at Christmas, roses, a rose pedicure where they do the rose petals and then they use the rose oil in aromatherapy. So those are just examples of themed manicures. You can also do this with pedicures. A waterless manicure. You're like, what? Okay, so your hands are actually not soaked in water. Some nail techs use lotion. They use heated mitts to soften the cuticle instead of actually doing this in a finger bowl. Okay, so why aromatherapy is used during a nail service? Okay, so the practice of aromatherapy. The practice of aromatherapy involves the use of highly concentrated essential oils. These oils are extracted using various forms of distillation from seeds, bark, roots, leaves, wood, resin of plants. The practice requires extensive study. Otherwise, only blended oils that are already mixed and tested should be used as directed. You can buy these. You can kind of create your own. Again, you need to know what you're doing. You need to study up. Why is it good for that client? Some popular ones are rose oil, lavender. Lavender is known to relax you. So definitely different types of aromatherapy treatment. Look into essential oils. That will open up a whole nother door. It's honestly amazing at what you can do with essential oils. And people like that. And that is just something that is just a couple of drops and you can add. It's a very lucrative service. Add $10 onto your service for a rose oil manicure or a lavender manicure. And then use that aromatherapy during your hand and arm massage. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about paraffin. I talked about this earlier. It is a petroleum-based byproduct that has excellent sealing properties to retain that moisture in your skin. So let's talk about it a little bit more. It includes applying to the hands directly. You can dip it in a paraffin wax in cheesecloth or a paper towel. You can spray paraffin. You have paraffin gloves as well. Again, this is an added service. This is for a higher price. So you have the plastic bag paraffin application. This is the method that would be pouring the paraffin in the plastic bag, and then you wrap each bag around the client's hands or feet. Okay, that's for infection control. Then you have the cheesecloth or paper towel paraffin application. This is where the cheesecloth or paper towel is dipped into the paraffin and then it's wrapped around the hands or feet. Spray paraffin. In this method, a special machine with a replaceable paraffin cartridges is used and sprayed onto the client's hands or on their feet. And then you have the single-use commercial gloves. These gloves come with paraffin lined on the inside of the glove. And of course, they're disposed after the use because they're gloves. You cannot clean or disinfect them. Okay, let's talk about nail art options for clients. Okay, nail art has never been easier to create. You can go on YouTube. There's tons of things that you can do with nail art. And really, all it takes is practice and different types of brushes and products. With so many art supplies and mediums available, getting the perfect look is easy and it's also fun. Okay, so let's talk about different techniques. The French manicure, very popular. For a traditional French manicure look, the nail bed is one color, such as pink, bubble bath, peach, beige. Again, that's going to depend on the client's skin tone. And then the free edge of the nail is another color, such as white. And the curved line where the pink and white meet each other is called the smile line, because it looks like a smile. Now, typical French manicure is going to be that light pink, beige, bubble bath, and then you have the white. But nowadays, everybody's doing all different types of colors, so you can do any color you want to. Then you have the color fading, or a lot of people call this ombre. Okay, color graduation. It is where one color fades into another, and at the meeting point, it is the combination of two. Then you have color blocking. This is just as it sounds, blocks and sections of color on the nail. So one part of the nail might be one color and the other might be another. Marbleizing. This is a swirled effect that can be created when you combine two or more colors while wet and then mix them on the nail with a marbleizing tool known as a stylus. So what is a stylus? It is a tool with a solid handle with a rounded ball tip at each end that can range in size. There's just some more nail art that you guys can look at. And again, this book was written in 2016, so you guys know that nail art has come a really, really long way. Okay, so let's review. It is important to learn about nail equipment and supplies. It's important to learn about nail services and the infection control that comes with them. If a student would like to continue their nail education, they can learn advanced techniques from their instructor, from trade magazines, online, beauty shows. You can take classes that specialize in these, any of that. Okay. I'm not going to go over the questions because after you guys finish this lecture, I'm going to ask you a ton of questions to complete the lesson. So I hope you guys enjoyed Chapter 25, Manicuring. We will be going over this in class. I'll either lecture, do activities, a little bit of both. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much.